Aloha, top of the morning, friends and family. On this channel, we upload one beautifully edited cinematic masterpiece per week. However, this video is uncut. In today's uncut video, it's just Hillary. Well, it's not just Hillary and I. It's just the two of us at the front seat driving home, and I needed to record a video. We're going through a tunnel. How fun is that? And only thing I could think of to talk about was politics. Everybody loves when I talk about politics on this channel. It's just everybody's favorite thing. They're like, please talk about that more. And they ask me so much to talk about politics on this channel that every now and then I actually succumb, and I'm actually like, okay, just this once.
Like reptile politics?
Sure. I mean, politics. I often talk about how much I don't like politics, but I will talk about them here. And most people have. I don't know. I try to not be so concerned about what it is people think about it, because people, when it comes to politics, they will take one thing you say or even that you don't say, and seem to automatically assume everything about you and know exactly who you are based on one sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you are much more, I mean, when it comes to the two of us and our social media platforms, you are way more vocal about your thoughts and ideas when it comes to things that affect. I also want to say that I've come more and more to feel that my understanding of politics changes over the years.
Totally. Same. I've been all over the place.
Yeah, and that they're actually semi-important is a fairly new thought of mine.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's like, just why? Like, leave it alone. Like, a lot of me like agrees with people like, you know, two things you don't talk about at the dinner table with family: religion and politics. I'm like, yeah, I could get on board with that. It sounds stupid. But then I think about like the effect that what politics actually are, and it's like just ideas and discussion of ideas, and deciding which ideas are good and which ideas are bad. That's kind of like today what I understand as politics, is the talking through of those ideas, and then eventually those ideas becoming the laws that we live by in the places that we live.
Yeah, and I mean, and in a really simplified form, that's great, and that's what it should be, but it's gotten so convoluted with money and specialized interest groups that it's really hard to put a lot of faith in politics. And that's why
I would never put my faith in politics.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, like that's what politics should be. And sometimes it is, right? But a lot of times the intentions maybe are there, but they just get so obfuscated. I always mess up. Obfuscated.
I don't know. If you don't know what a word is, you probably shouldn't use it.
I think it's obfuscated. It's a weird word. Obfuscated.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The more I say it, the more I think I'm wrong, but maybe not. Like, or it like diverts away from the original intention.
So I think maybe it was probably obvious to those that speak sarcasm, or those that were baptized in a vat of sarcasm as they were growing into their young childhood, as I was, that nobody ever actually. I take that back. Lots of people actually appreciate when I speak openly, and appreciate some of the things I have to say when I have to say them, when they seem to mean a lot to me, even if they seem to have a political leaning. Mm-hmm. But more often than not, people are like, I don't want to hear that on your channel, and you shouldn't talk about that on your channel. And when people say things like that, I'm like, oh, I should shut up. You know how I get.
Yeah.
You don't want me to. You don't want to hear what I have to say, and you think I should be quiet.
Or you think you get to dictate what I say on my channel or what I talk about.
And then that usually sends me to like, okay, I will quietly obey and just shh on my own channel and be quiet, and I won't talk about those things anymore.
I mean, there is your channel does predominantly focus on non-political topics.
Sure.
So I get it that people are coming to your channel for the content that your channel represents, but also you do blend in personal life and some of your faith and some family life, especially in like uncut or vlog style videos. So I'd say in that space, if people don't want to hear about it, just don't watch it. Or
yeah.
go, oh, this isn't about reptiles. I'm gonna just go find something else. Like that's totally how a sane world would work. If you don't want to hear what someone's talking about, don't listen to it. But you definitely have every right to use your channel, your platform, anywhere to speak your mind. And yeah, the more people you have following you, the more people are probably going to disagree with you. But
Ooh.
you know,
Why are we hitting our brakes and forcing me to be next to this semi?
I don't know, but this is a left turn lane. Why are you going in a left?
I don't know, because this guy hit his brakes and forced me to like be next to the semi. He's still hitting his brakes.
He was confused. There's construction. I feel like we can have some sympathy, some compassion.
Yeah, sure. No, that's sometimes how I feel about when people make comments like that. Like you shouldn't talk about that. Like they get in front of me put their brakes on and try to force me into a semi.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's
and
how
I mean
feel.
they have the right to say that.
Sure,
right?
I support your right to say that.
But if they think that they have a right to dictate what do talk about, that's where it kind of cuts into not so free speechy.
Yeah.
I mean,
which I support. I just wanted to say that for the record. I fully support your right to tell me to shut up.
Yeah, I mean, there is I feel like I used to be a little bit more political, especially like on my Instagram, but then I started questioning things and things started shifting. I started changing, parties started changing. I feel like there was just a lot, and I felt like, you know what, right now in my life, I just want to share more motherhood and have more camaraderie in that space, because that's what I was really entrenched in. And there were certain topics that I felt very convicted that I would always speak up for. So I kind of would sprinkle in little doses of some of those topics that I felt really passionately about. But overall, I try to keep specifically my Instagram more positive, more focused on family life and, bringing more beauty into the world. Like that's kind of where I'm at with that. But then things come up and I'm like, you know what? I feel strongly about this and I feel like I want to speak up, because there are probably other people who aren't speaking up who wonder if they're alone in their thoughts. And then when you do speak up, it makes everybody just a little more confident and not so afraid to have their own thoughts that might go against the grain or the people that they're around. And I've had a lot of people reach out and say, thank you for speaking up about this. I don't have a lot of friends who agree with me on this topic. And so it's really nice to be able to converse with somebody. And I've had people disagree with me, and that's, some of them might be a little crazy, but I just, it's I don't want to add to the divisiveness. So that's something I try to do. I try to be kind of I don't know. I try not to point fingers when I do speak out about stuff. But also, as I get older, I feel like there's sometimes where I'm I don't care if I offend anybody, or I don't care if I hurt your feelings. This is wrong, and I really feel like this is wrong. And so, yeah, I guess that's where I land with it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Yeah. And I think that's one area where I think you inspire me to be different in that, because I'm naturally very quiet and don't want to share. I naturally don't want to share some of my deepest convictions in any kind of public way. Maybe with a friend one-on-one.
Well, and I was going to say, I feel like as long as you have a space where you can talk about these things for your own well-being, that's kind of, I think, what's more important, rather than where you're sharing. Is more if someone reaches out to you and wants to have a conversation about something, to share your opinions there, or in a one-on-one setting, or you don't necessarily have to make them public.
Yeah, well, but to your point that you brought up, there's plenty of times, I think, when you do say something in a public way that will help encourage somebody who was feeling alone and didn't have anybody to talk to that was feeling that way, and you
Right.
speak up about it, and they're like, oh, like, thank God I'm not alone on
Totally.
this. And sometimes it does just take one person to say something. And
Yeah. But it's I mean, it's risky, right? Like, it's a really volatile time to speak out about specific issues. Um, so, you have to know that people might hold it against you. People might try to, people might try to use that against you
pigeonhole
in
you
the
into
future, or tell your employer that you have this opinion. We are
the beauty of being self-employed.
yeah, or just it comes with some risk, and I'm sure there are friends of mine who do not like some of my opinions, and maybe I have friends who our friendships have gone separate ways, not for a specific reason, but just like kind of an overall general life path, has and then that also came with very differing political views, which is interesting. And like I said, I know I've shifted a little bit, on some of my views, but a lot of them, I feel like the parties have shifted. I think a lot of people feel that way right now. You're like, I don't even know where I fit in. I think this, which is typically, a left leaning view, but then I feel like this, which is right. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that keeping conversations going is definitely what I agree with. I think that people should be able to continue to share, and that's part of the reason that I do, is like, I don't think it's healthy to feel like you cannot speak, because
No, yeah.
then it leads to ugly situations.
Oh,
I
totally.
think anytime somebody feels like they've been put in this hole where they can't speak and nobody's hearing what they're saying and they don't feel heard or seen, and it can go really negative really fast.
Totally.
And
I have this kind of crazy girl that messages me really long messages sometimes, and I actually don't even know her very well at all. And I've kind of thought before, like, if I was irrational and kind of just irritated, I would just block her. Just be like, I don't ever want to hear from you. But I figured, you know what, like, she's obviously talking to me for a reason. Like, I don't know why she decides to message me these really long messages and go back and forth with me, but I'm like, it's not hurting me. Like, she's not like crazy in the sense that she's like attacking me in any way. We just have very fundamental disagreements, and so it would be really easy just to block her, and shut out that conversation. But maybe something I say can kind of get through to her. Maybe something she says can get through to me. Nothing has yet, but I'm not saying it's impossible. So yeah, even with people I really disagree with I think it's important to
find the points where you do agree, and then it can
or even
work
just
from there.
have a space for them to let out their grievances, even if it's to somebody they barely know, who we've met in person like a couple times. It's like, I don't know, as long as it's not like harming anybody, just roll with it, and
Sure.
message her back when I get a chance.
Huh.
and also understand that I'm probably not going to change her mind. She seems very set. Maybe she thinks that about me too, but I don't know. I've been politically all over the place, and I don't really vote based on party lines. I have like some fundamental core values and beliefs, and I kind of vote based on what's more in line with those. So that's sort of where I fall on the political spectrum. But I also think it's, like I said, I call it politics sometimes, because there is an aspect of it that is very theatrical, and just people trying to say what they think people want to hear, but then behind closed doors they vote based off what lobbyists are paying them. I mean, it's really messy, and it is pretty gross in some respects. But that's what we've got. At least for now, we can speak out about it, and I think in light of current events, that's obviously something that we all need to continue to promote, that there's a reason that's our First Amendment, it's a reason they put that first. So I think that's something that we all should be making sure stays that way.
Agreed. What do you think is one of the what do you think is
Unless
one
there's
of
a
the
sleeping baby.
Oh my goodness. Stop infringing upon my freedom to speak.
Hold on, sweetie. What? No, we're not that close yet. Getting there, though.
What do you think is one of the major factors that determines a person's viewpoint in life? Was there a moment? So you said you've been all over the place. You've gone sifted this. Do you think is there any moment in your life that you feel you went from really feeling convicted about this, or where was there a moment where a lot of things shifted for you, politically speaking?
Well, I feel like in the past, my politics were a little more focused on like environmentalism. Like that was something I was really passionate about. Like when we lived in Hawaii, I used to like go to marches against GMOs and Monsanto and fighting against glyphosate and all the poison, and it was more focused environmentally in my like early 20s, and then I feel, I guess more recently, like a lot of people, COVID was like a really like what's the word I'm looking for?
Catalyst?
Yeah, it was a catalyst, and it was it really like shook things up for me, I guess, just as far as like how people were reacting to that, and how that sort of correlated with different politics, and that was a big influential time for me. I think a lot of people felt that way. And then, I think like slowly over time, just being, in middle school during September 11th, like obviously that was a really impactful moment in our history. And I actually was reading through one of my journals from middle school, and even then I was really torn. I was like, well, President Bush says that like there's these people who want us harm, and but then I was like, on the other hand, like most of the people over there probably don't want us harm. So I was like even very conflicted as like a middle schooler, like, well, I'm hearing this from like the president of our country, but like also kind of my instinct is telling me that like I don't know if I should believe all that. So I feel like I've always been pretty like I don't know if you ever know about that Enneagram and like your personality traits and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I'm like a peacemaker, like I always want to find like the middle road. I want people to get along. I want to like see both sides. I don't know. I feel like that's
maybe that's why we get along.
Because you're not a peacemaker.
Got to be some kind of reason. I don't know.
But like I said, I feel like that's shifted a little bit too, where I'm like a little more convicted in my like where I draw a line of like, no, this is right and this is wrong. I don't know. Yeah. How about you? Do you feel like there were any pivotal moments?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This conversation, one of them. I'm definitely not wanting to get into whatever you're into, crazy person. Clearly you're a racist based on your political views.
Are you talking to the car behind us?
No, I was talking to you. No, I was just kidding. Sorry, I'll give you a real answer. I'd say having kids was a major shift in my view on the world, like a very major shift. There was a moment that I distinctly remember going from thinking that I had a decent grasp, through all my 20s and to the age I had gotten to about what love was and what love really, what that meant, and then realized maybe within a day of having Noah, like that I beforehand had no idea what it was when I was talking about when I said the word love. It's like, no, I don't, like, that changed my viewpoint of like what I want for the world, the place that I want, our kids to exist, and what it meant for that, and also the willingness to lay down my life for somebody else went up dramatically, like that willingness, So even in a moment like that, even a moment where there's a little whiny kid in the back of the car, it's just like, yeah, I would still lay it down for you, buddy.
What?
Uh,
Do you want to watch another Backyardigans?
and that idea of wanting to that idea of wanting the world to be a better place for that reason, so much to the point that I'm willing to lay down my life for someone else.
Yeah.
That I think was a major shift in my view on the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and your priorities and what like truly matters in life definitely shifts.
And it doesn't always. And I also was thinking about it doesn't necessarily shift. Like just having kids is not necessarily going to shift that for everybody. It did for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I grew up with lots of friends who had kids, and it seemed like they could care less that they had a kid. Almost like there was an inconvenience that they had a kid. So I don't know. That. Anyway, maybe it's time to end this video. And we'll take care of our kids now instead of continuing to record our own
reality
thing.
of a road trip.
Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you on the next one. Aloha.
Bye-bye.